Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Couch Riffs podcast, episode number 269. And my guest, Alie Byland of the band Byland. This year, Alie and the band Byland released an album called Heavy for a While. Arguably my favorite album of the year so far. I listened to it a lot. It's great. I can't even tell you. I recommend stopping this podcast right now and going and listening if you haven't heard it. Then come back and listen to our conversation. I think you'll be pleased. It is densely musical, well-crafted songs, really well produced and mixed. It's a beautiful record. And as it turns out, Alie is great. I met her last year at or maybe it was actually January, on the verge of the release of their record. They were receiving some money from the Sonic Guild organization, and it was an awesome night. We didn't talk about it, but Allie's amp on stage blew up. I was working the show. We got them sorted out. The show went on, and the band is just like stunning. It's so good. For sure, go see them. Go see them when you can. I had a great time hosting Alie. She's got a really interesting story and was a generously open book about sharing, things about her life with me and with you. And so I hope that you enjoy our conversation. If you are enjoying the Couch Riffs podcast or any of the cover songs that we record, and I've this week, as I was editing this video, it came to me, and I have my pitch for Alie, actually. I haven't done one of the cover songs since January, maybe February, something like that, and I want to try to do another one before the end of the year. They're expensive to do, and time consuming to organize. But I have an idea for Alie. I haven't pitched it to her yet. But if you're enjoying the podcast or any of these cover songs, please do consider supporting Couch Riffs on Patreon. Patreon is the only place where you can download one of, I think there's, any of the 70, maybe more cover songs that I've organized and recorded and made videos for. And it's the only place that Couch Riffs gets any sort of financial support. I would do this without getting any sort of support. So it always is rewarding and fulfilling to me. I like talking to people. But your support is amazing and really appreciated. So if you are already supporting Couch Riffs on Patreon, thank you so much. And if you are considering, let me encourage you to follow through. I love living indoors. It's great. Thank you, 1 bajillion times. As always, the golden rule. We know the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Imagine how great the world would be if we just walked around with kindness in our hearts for other people. Just be considerate.
But
failure is an option.
Failure is an option, and I hope it might not be today, though.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that it's not today.
Well, what does botching it mean, in your opinion?
Well, I think that means not doing a good job.
What would that be? Or what would be a good job?
Well, I have a new policy, and that's just whatever you're doing, do your best always, because you'll never feel badly. You'll never feel, even if you fail, if you do your best, you did your best. What is there to feel bad about, right? If you know you didn't and you fail, that's on you.
It's true. You can only do the best that you can do, which I think we're both doing right now.
Here. Welcome to the podcast.
Good to be here.
I'm so happy that you made time to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Will you do me a favor? This is how I like to start every episode.
Yeah.
will you say your name and tell people what you do, or what? Just tell people who you are.
I'm Alie, and I am a part of a band called Byland, not by sea, but by land. And we are a cinematic indie rock band from Everett, Washington. Yeah.
Or you're not from Everett,
I'm from
are you?
Albuquerque, New Mexico, but we live in Everett, and we're going to be in Everett for a long time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it feels really good.
Where in Everett are you?
We're like pretty close to downtown. We can walk to Black Lab and Lucky Dime, and
I walked past Black Lab last week. What is that?
it's a venue.
It is?
Yeah, owned by Bella. She's a badass. Black Lab used to be in Ballard.
Okay.
And she, it's like, I think it's the only woman-owned venue in Everett. And she's supporting local artists in a really huge way.
It was popping off when I walked by.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday night. I was going to see Dwight Yoakam at the event center, or what it's called, something else now. The arena.
Oh, yes, the arena. Ice Cube just played there too. Were you there for that also?
I didn't see that one. I would have. I saw him at a small venue in the 90s.
Nice.
I would have loved to seen it. I took my sister and my brother-in-law, and they saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They loved it. Yeah.
Where'd you eat dinner?
Huh?
Where did you eat dinner? In Everett? Did you eat dinner?
No, I don't really eat.
Did you drink any water? Did you go anywhere
I
for a
drank.
drink? Where'd you go?
I ate in Granite Falls that night, which is where I'm from, which is why I have a pretty good knowledge of Everett, Washington.
I feel like I haven't spent very much time in Granite Falls, but what do you mean, you grew up there?
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Do you live there right now?
No, I live in South Park.
Oh.
Yeah. Granite Falls is awesome, and if you like to swim in rivers or you like to trail hike,
yeah,
it is a place for you.
Huh. I feel like I probably have been there. I just didn't. I don't know. I don't remember the name of places that I go.
If you don't have those specific goals, it's not. There's not much else
My
to do
hiking
there.
passport.
You
Yeah.
could maybe go out there and score some meth.
Oh.
Or
that's where I got it from.
It's
You're
a
right.
great
I have
place
been
to
there.
bury a body. You know, if you find yourself in that predicament.
I wouldn't put it past me.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Now you know.
Granite Falls. Got it.
Knowledge is power.
I'm from Albuquerque, and we also have buried bodies all over, and lots of
there's a whole famous television show based on all of that kind of activity.
Yeah, I grew up like right in that neighborhood where all the exciting things were happening. And even we lived there in 2020, and we got a dog during that time, and we still have her. And she is not afraid of any noise at all because she grew up like with gunshots every night, and she isn't bothered by it. Yeah.
You have a dog that's not afraid of fireworks.
Not at all.
That's amazing.
She literally could give a...
My dogs are terrified.
It honestly makes me sad when they are. I feel like people should do a better job of like desensitizing them, because, I mean, dogs have so much anxiety now.
Yeah. I drove my dogs through, like, on 4th of July. I was like, okay, it's dusk.
Yeah.
Let's hit the road.
Yeah.
And they also hate... My dogs are like cats. They hate the water. I just want, like, I got these dogs, and I was like, I want to get some frisbee dogs that'll go swimming with me, and we'll go on road trips. And they hate all of that shit. They're just like, they see me throw something. They don't get car sick, but they just tremble. Like, you know, dogs
Poor
are like
babies.
half hanging out the windows.
Poor babies.
If I crack the windows, my dogs are like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The world is going to end.
Poor baby. You have two?
2 dogs.
And they're both like
they're
that?
They're
Are they
terrified.
siblings? Like by blood?
No.
They
look like they could.
What
they
kind
look
of
like
dogs?
They could.
I will derail this conversation hard if we start talking about animals. So
They're like, I call them freeloader terriers.
love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Enough about my family. What was it like growing up in Albuquerque?
Awesome.
I think it's a lovely city.
I love Albuquerque. I love being from New Mexico. I'm extremely proud to be from there. I feel like it grew me up in a very fast way, but there's also just a deep appreciation for culture. It's almost completely surrounded by Native American tribes, and so the art and music and just the culture is extremely beautiful to be around. And I got my music start there too. So
When was the first time you met someone that was like, ketchup is spicy?
I mean, there's people like that in Albuquerque that
Really?
don't belong there.
How do they
I'm just
survive?
kidding. I mean, green chili is not all spicy. I mean, in my opinion, like you can have green chili that's super mild and just it makes everything taste better, but it's not necessarily always spicy. You just have to take out the flakes,
Yeah.
you know?
I don't think anything can be too spicy.
I mean, I'm not going to say like I'm going to go get, food and say spice level 10 and have, an easy time, but
Right.
I can have some spice. My maiden name is Martinez.
What's that?
Martinez.
Your middle name?
My last name, my maiden name. Mm-hmm.
I see.
My dad is like 100% Spanish.
Okay.
And my mom is not. But yeah, there's a lot of... My whole family speaks Spanish and in New Mexico. And made tortillas and just the food is amazing there. But that's where my family came from. So I don't mind a little bit of spice here and there.
I need a tortilla press again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're pressing your own tortillas?
I used to. Why not?
That's pretty amazing.
It's not really. It's just like you mix it up and you do
tortillas.
Make it happen.
I think that it's the best when you have like a lot of flour on the outside of it too. So even when you're eating it, there's like flour coming off of your hands.
Yeah.
If you need some green chili to go along with whatever you're making your tortillas for, please let me know. I have a lot.
Yes.
I do.
Did you grow up in a musical household?
Kind of. My first piano lesson, I was probably like 5 or 6.
Okay.
And my mom took money away from the grocery budget to get me like one and it changed my life. I think I remember it so vividly. I was sitting in this very beautiful house with a grand piano, like windows all around me. My feet could have not even touched the ground.
Right.
And my teacher, she just was so kind. She looked like Miss Frizzle from like the Magic School Bus. And she just looks down at me and she's like, Alie, how are you feeling right now? And I was like, I think happy. And she's like, well, let's find one note on the piano that expresses that emotion. And so I found my favorite note and she's like, let's find another one now. And let's now write a story with your emotions using this piano. And that was my very first piano lesson. And I think that I've always come to music like that, even now, just emotion first and having it be a friend,
That sounds like more than a piano lesson to me.
Yeah.
Right?
It truly changed my life, honestly.
You can kind of apply that to just about anything you're interfacing with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I could find her now. I mean, I honestly only got like a few lessons like every other month or something.
Right.
And yeah, it was cutting edge for that time too, but she had this program that you could like, write a music piece and then it would print out the sheet music. So you had like your own song, that you wrote.
Yeah.
So
I used to have something like that.
Really?
Yeah. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably more common now and like easy to do, but at the time, that was like, I don't even know.
I think even Logic will do
25 years ago.
What's that?
It was like 25 years ago.
Right. Did you have access to a piano at home or a keyboard of some kind?
I think eventually my family was donated a piano from some lady. And that was one of those days also that my life was changed. Because up until that point, I was using like just a really short, like only 3-octave little keyboard that wasn't even weighted.
Right.
And I mean, that was great for learning, songs and writing when I was that young. But I also grew up in a very religious household. So the music that I listened to growing up was mostly like just whatever was in the church. And
Catholic.
we weren't Catholic. We were this thing called Vineyard. So it's like non-denominational, very, very charismatic. Pretty much the entire church service was just music, and not like hymn music, like more just like we call it just like worship music. And
That sounds very New Mexico.
yeah, I started playing on stage when I was 13. My dad was a pastor, so I got some privileges, and I started learning, all the chords that are in a worship song, which is 4.
Right.
And I honestly do feel pretty comfortable on stage. I think because of that, I just grew up like learning to be comfortable up there and try new things and risk and fail.
I've listened to your new record a lot, and
Thank you.
I have this whole, and I love it.
Thanks.
I have this whole idea in my mind that you're a music school kid. Is that on or way off?
Super off. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I can barely read music. I can, but that's not where I came from at all. No.
Okay. The music is deceptively complex. It's sparse. It's sparsely, arranged.
Yeah.
But there are odd bars thrown in and
so
polyrhythmic melodies and counter melodies. And it's like, that was at first I was listening to it. I was like, this is really nice, but why do I love it so much? And it's because of that, because it just feels rich, musically rich.
Awesome. I'm glad.
Tell me, how do you get there?
I'm not sure. I feel like the first band the only CD I had from 16 on in my car was Manchester Orchestra.
Okay.
And they were the first time that the first, I guess, band that I listened to like over and over and over and over and over. And I was obsessed with how they changed, like not the entire song was in 4/4. And they changed in the middle of songs and changed keys in the middle of songs. And it just intrigued me so much, and kind of was the first time that I was like excited to write something like that.
Right.
And I think even we have a record that's like not even on the internet anymore that we like recorded in our closet. And even on that one, like really early on, the first songs that we were writing, I was writing, I always wanted it to catch people off guard, like cause people to lean in, because that's what excited me about music. So, and luckily I found a producer, Nate Yachino, who really fostered that in me. Like he was the first producer that I went to that I was working with that wasn't like trying to change that about me.
Right.
Like I would bring him songs and be like, I really want to add a measure. I really want to add a beat, for the rest of the song. Like, like having ideas like that. And he would be like, let's do it. And he is a good enough, he's so amazing. He's an amazing drummer, and he wrote the drum parts. So we were like in the studio working on those things together, and he didn't tell me I was doing it wrong.
Did he also mix the album?
No.
Like everything, like it's, the production is so great. The mix is nice. And speaking of Manchester, it reminds me a little bit of Elbow.
Yeah. I've never.
It's,
That's awesome. I don't know.
It's very beautiful music. It is, pretty conventional rock band lineup, but
yeah,
it's probably the best sounding show I've ever seen. I saw them at Showbox.
That's
and it was
sweet.
Just like,
next time they're here, I'll go. I want to go.
Check them out.
Yeah, Elbow. Yeah. Okay. Brandon Bell, he mixed the record.
Okay.
And he's one of those people, like, he's so incredibly kind and so incredibly talented, and like he works with top-notch people. And I only got in touch with him because of Nate. Nate's worked with him in the past through like Brandy Carlisle, and people like that. And I felt like so excited that he, was willing to mix our record.
Right.
And he even like bought our vinyl after it came out, like that type of person.
Right.
Just so kind. Pete Lyman mastered the record, and I just have to shout him out too. He did an incredible job. So,
well, grand slam.
Thank you.
When did you leave New Mexico, and did you play shows in New Mexico, in Albuquerque, aside from shows aside from performances in church?
Yeah, when I was so I've moved to Seattle 3 times from New Mexico. So the third time was kind of in 2022. So we lived in New Mexico like 2020 through 2022.
Right.
And we did put out a record called Gray in 2020 while we were living in New Mexico. And I'm super proud of that record also. I think that was like my becoming of age record. But we had a band in New Mexico full of all of my like childhood buddies who I played music with in church.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really fun. Super, super fun. We did play shows around. But I think that was such a tough time because like we couldn't tour. Like we had a whole tour planned and obviously everything got canceled. So it was just sort of a tough time.
Did you go back to New Mexico because the COVID stuff, or was it just coincidentally lined up?
Yeah, it was coincidental. Yeah, we moved. I wanted to move to New Mexico for a long time. And I finally convinced Jake, my husband, to move there with me. We had never lived there together. And so he was like, well, let's do it. Let's try it for 2 years. And we moved in February of 2020. And everything shut down, obviously, like a month after that. And I feel like it was kind of nice to be home. Like I was close to my mom and my brothers.
Right.
And my sister during that time. And yeah, it was unexpected how everything turned out, but it was great. It was hard, but really good too.
It's a tough time to try a city out.
Yeah, obviously we're back. Yep.
I've moved away from Seattle also 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How did you, every time you've gone back there?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How does it feel when you come back here?
To Seattle?
Yeah.
I think in the past, I'll be honest, like I've had a very hard time with the weather. Mm-hmm. And growing up with sun all the time, it's just a different, like you're just kind of built differently. And I had a really, really hard time with my mental health, like with just how cloudy it was.
Right.
And I also will say my dad passed away when I was 20, and I think part of me wanted to move back to New Mexico to feel closer to him. I hadn't really like lived there with him being not alive. So I don't know, there was something in me that really needed to move home and kind of confront the reality of him truly being gone.
Right.
And yeah, it was super healing to move back there. It was really good to be there during that time. But yeah, coming back to Washington this last time, I remember we were driving, we had a U-Haul full of our plants. And you
said plants, that's all you had?
This is so dumb. But yeah, Monstera, the song on the record called Monstera, is about this. But we were driving north and like had a U-Haul only full of plants. And you can only drive.
Stop during the day and open the thing so they could get some light?
We had like lamps in there and blankets and like heat blankets, everything I could think of. Okay. Like it was we moved I think in February, and all that to say, we had to drive 55 miles per hour the entire way. And when we got here, obviously they all died. Like we opened it and they all were wilted and every single one died except one, which is like this yucca plant that I still have. And that goes to show that desert plants are resilient.
Sturdy.
Yeah. I feel really connected to that plant. But
the FICA definitely didn't make it.
No. Literally none. I mean, I won't say how much money, like...
You can't move one of those 6 inches left or right.
Yeah, they all died. It was super sad. But it was kind of like poetic in a way, I will say. Like, sucked, but felt like, well, this is a new beginning. But all that to say, okay, so we're driving north, and I get a call from Kevin Sir, or an email, and we were asked to play timber. And I didn't even have a band in Seattle at all yet. And we hadn't even finished the new record, nothing. But it just felt like, okay, we're like driving toward community again. We're driving toward like the people that have really supported us. Our producer lives here in Ballard. And our band that we have now, like they were all friends, but we weren't playing together yet. And it just, it felt like, when you're just doing the right thing, it just feels like you're doing the right thing, even though it's painful to say. When you're saying yes to something, you're always saying no to something else.
Of course.
And that was a really real, people were, I hurt people. It sucked.
Right. People should understand.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
They absolutely do. It took a while. I mean, but honestly, like our drummer in New Mexico, she has her own project now. She was one of the hardest people to say goodbye to. And she's like doing really great. She has her own project, and it's awesome to see, like,
thriving. Maybe
if we didn't, leave each other in a creative way, maybe we wouldn't be where we are right now. Especially, like, it's just so cool to see her do her thing. Yeah.
Awesome. What's her name?
Christian.
Good luck, Christian.
Yeah, Christian Haynes. She goes by Tin.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, she's awesome. She was my first friend that I ever wrote a song with in New Mexico. She knew my dad. She knew my family. Like, she's just that girl.
She knows how to throw in a bar of 6 every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Manchester Orchestra together, and I think she's the first person I ever crowd surfed with. Just so many things.
Nice. So the first time you moved here, what was the draw of Seattle over? I mean, coming from Albuquerque, you could have gone to LA. You could have gone to, I guess, Phoenix,
Israel.
Huh?
Yeah, I tried to go a lot of places, and Seattle was. I came here for Bible college and in Kirkland, and it turned out to be pretty culty. Yeah. And extremely culty. So that was a really interesting phase of life. Moving here, I just wanted to come. I wanted to go somewhere very different than New Mexico, and you can't really like find anything more different. So I was super excited for the change. I was 18 by myself, moved here.
Didn't know anyone.
I kind of knew like there was a church that we had been like in contact with. My dad was a pastor, like I mentioned, so he knew some church people here. So I kind of knew like that I was going to come to this program, but I didn't like know anybody. And like you're like thrown into living with a family that you've never met, and you have no choice who it is. Very interesting time.
That was the college?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's more than a college. It's tough to explain.
Right.
Like what it was. You literally give up a year of your life to pursue ministry and to pursue.
Did you make it all year?
Yeah.
It's an exercise in patience.
I actually worked there for a year after that, like on staff for like $75 a month. And
a month?
Uh-huh. And
per month.
It was, I mean, I'm happy to talk about that more. It is a wild story, and it's over, thank God.
We can talk about whatever you're comfortable with, but that sounds wild. Yeah. So wait a minute. So what do you do with $75? You can't pay for a cell phone with $75 a month. Did you have a second job?
No, you're not allowed to. And you're also not allowed to date or, I mean, you're like giving up your life to like serve this church and their mission and their goals. And I nailed it.
Were there goals golden?
I think there's a lot of corruption in that church. It's over now. Like it had to end. The pastors are still doing it in a different name now. But a lot of people I'm friends with still that like kind of made it through that. And I have respect for them. Like there's a lot of people that are still like their beliefs are still similar.
Sure.
And I absolutely have respect for them. However, I saw a lot of people get hurt so deeply, like illegal things. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately that's not the only place that's happening.
The problem with churches is people.
I know, I hesitate. I don't even know what you believe, but
I mean, I'm a non-religious person.
Nice.
I think that I also don't want to offend anyone. I have friends of all kinds of religions.
So much respect, truly. Like
and
whatever you feel safe
I think that
with.
the story of Christ is a great story.
Mm-hmm.
I think his messaging was great.
Yeah.
Super socialist.
Super.
Give away your shit. Serve people.
Yeah.
Be kind.
Yeah.
And the problem is that, you know, the idea of Christianity is I think it's a wonderful thing, but I've never met one.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people who call themselves that, but I could call myself, you know, whatever I want.
Right.
I could call myself rich.
Right.
And in some ways, I am.
Yeah.
I live in a house.
Wow. What?
With indoor plumbing.
What? That's awesome.
You know, I eat every day.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
Yeah. Me too.
And so I guess in that regard, everyone that says they are is. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think absolutely what you're saying. Just like I know people now that are still, they feel safe where they are and in their community. And That's awesome. I'm happy for them. I didn't. And I know a lot of people that didn't. And they got out and I'm proud of them.
Right.
Proud of me too. Yeah. I will say my dad was a pastor, and like I've said that 3 times now, but he was an amazing person. Like what you're describing, like loving first and giving back to your community and truly being involved in your community. I saw like a beautiful way that church or just a group of people like that can really make a difference in a positive way in a community. When I was 12, we moved from, my parents were building an earth ship. And I lived on Route 66.
Come again?
Yes. So from age 1 to 11, I lived on East Route 66, east of Albuquerque, in a little town called Tijeras. And my parents were building like a home into the side of a cliff. And yeah.
Was it the pounded earth house, like that kind of thing?
They used mostly organic materials, and it was partially like into the earth, but also partially a trailer. So
I've totally been down the rabbit hole of like building houses like this.
I love that part of my childhood. Like we ran around barefoot. We were homeschooled and just free little kids with long hair and
When was the first time you went to a public school? Did you go to a public school ever?
Not really.
Never?
Not really.
So church was the only place where you got social...
For sure.
Is that right?
That was it. Yeah. I mean, yes. Mm-hmm.
Were there, outside of Sunday, were there other activities? Were there other times like, hey, Wednesday we have a kids Bible study?
It was all encompassing. I was at church probably every single day for my entire childhood till I was 20.
Okay. I can see if you weren't, where it would create a situation where you would be socially awkward, but you're not.
I mean, thank you. Yeah, I think I've been through a lot. And yeah, I mean, this is another crazy fact, but like when we moved to the city when I was 11, this was another portion of my life, but my dad, he said one day, he was like, we need to move into the neighborhood that our church is in. I don't like that we like go up to this mountain house and we, you know, have what you're describing, like food every day.
Right.
And so within a month, my dad, he sold like his business and we moved into 2 duplexes that were completely condemned. And I don't even want to say, but like just so much, a lot of gang activity, like specifically on this property that my dad bought. And we moved in. There were cockroaches like coming out of the drains. And it was me and my 4 siblings and my mom and dad. And gunshots every single night, people coming in asking for food. And my dad, he, you know, was Spanish, spoke Spanish fluently. And he just loved that neighborhood. And he started buying more and more duplexes with like any money that was left over from the church. And we lived in a community where we had like recovering alcoholics or just people dealing with various struggles who needed a fresh start. They would come live with us, and we shared food. Like we shared a garden, we shared cars. My dad, he drove a Harley. He preached in like jeans and a t-shirt, and we had people that were high, like in the service. Just, it was a very, very real community. And
your dad sounds awesome.
Yeah, he was awesome. There were like 2,000 people at his funeral when he passed away.
Wow.
And like a presidential motorcade, you know, on the freeway. One more tiny piece is, do you know that show Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
No, I don't really watch TV.
This was like a crazy show back in the day where they would like tear down your house and build a new one in 7 days. And it was like on ABC.
Yeah.
And we got one of those also. So it was on national television. I was like 16.
Really?
Yes.
Can you find it?
Yeah, it's a 2-hour season finale.
How many of the duplexes did they do?
They bulldozed an entire city block of condemned houses that now the city came back and rebuilt for like a gated community that's safe, and there's like a daycare on it. And then the houses that my parents were trying to build, the roofs were caving in. Like they were doing the best they could, but like it was pretty dangerous, you know, mold and stuff. So they bulldozed 2 of them and built like a community house with like bunks, and then another house for our family.
Wow.
In 7 days. And it was on national television. It was crazy.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Like, that's an incredible thing, right?
Yeah.
How fucked is it that for the sake of entertainment, this can happen, but for the sake of pure humanity, your father struggled to be able to keep people in suitable housing?
Yeah, I mean, he tried his best. He got the community involved. He tried. Yeah, but it was in the end TV.
I mean, it's amazing. I'm glad. I'm stoked it happened. And again, your dad sounds amazing. I hope that you every day like know how lucky you are.
I am. Yeah, very.
But also that makes me mad.
Same. It did fuck the whole neighborhood in some way because it changed everything. Like in one sense, we were a part of the community, which was the point. And then in another sense, we were unreachable. And it, yeah, that's a very interesting subject. Like it changed a lot of things. I was 15 at the time.
Right.
Yeah. My dad got to live in the home for 2 years before he died. And yeah, it's crazy. Or maybe longer than that.
Does the church remain? Is someone else leading the charge then?
No, it's all over. And I'm not religious like at all anymore. And after my dad passed away, it's such a tough thing. Like you want something like that. Like the crime rate in the neighborhood while he was alive went down 58%. And that just goes to show he was
Right.
doing the right things.
Sure.
He like love motivated, nothing else. Yes. So it's crazy to go back now. My mom has since she sold it, and she couldn't, she's remarried, and life looks so different when I go back to New Mexico. It's almost unrecognizable.
Right.
Yeah. And you just hope that like the people that he touched, that's lasting in some way. But
I'm sure they carry it forward.
I think so.
Their own way.
I think so. It's just, it's also, this is an interesting subject.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you? We don't have to talk about this.
I'm so happy to. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
I don't want you to feel uncomfortable.
I don't. I honestly love talking about it. Was it hard for you
after, like, while you were here, you're away from your family, mm-hmm. I imagine, I don't want to assume, but mm-hmm. so much of your attachment to that life mm-hmm. was through family and the service you did with your family. Mm-hmm. You came here, it was wildly different.
So different.
Was it difficult for you to come to the realization like this isn't for me?
Super hard. Yeah. I mean, lots of my family is still very religious and like have their own beliefs, pretty different than mine. Again, I respect, but you ask for that in return, the same respect. And oftentimes, that's a tough thing to negotiate.
Don't worry, they'll pray for you.
Right? I know. I was the one. I'm off the deep end. Hi, my name is Alie, and I am off the deep end. I'm going to hell, and I'll meet all my friends there, honestly. But I don't even know if I believe in that at all. It just is so convoluted. Like, I think I'm trying still to sift through the parts of my childhood that were really positive and that I saw like real change.
Right.
And then the parts that were just manipulating people for fame and money.
Right.
And it works when you can abuse people and keep them silent. And that happened. God, it really did. I saw it.
I just started watching Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'd never finished it. I think because it was like, this is so real.
Right.
For my experience. But yeah, it's, mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I think like you can find something in common with everybody, and it really costs something to get to that point, and sometimes it's not worth the price.
I think you'll always find what you're looking for if you feel like you don't have the option to not find it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you will misidentify those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you just need something, well, you'll find that anywhere.
Yeah.
You can find it in this fake fern.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Like, again, I just go back to it. Like, some people do feel safe in those, wherever they're at right now. And it's like, I'm so happy for you. That's nice to have that, I'm sure.
I've never felt comfortable in group activities.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm working on it.
Well, this is a nice one-on-one.
This is where I thrive. I thrive in like groups of 4 or less.
Yeah.
Bands are like, I'm like,
you're a 4-piecer or less.
Well, even like a 5-piece band, it just is like, it's not like an odd number thing. It's not like one of those fixated things. I don't know what it is. Just like, just too many people.
Yeah.
I don't believe that we're meant to be a massive population.
For sure. Sure.
Because it's not sustainable. And it's not sustainable for the planet, for us to be here, but also we can't communicate effectively. I think the cap is the sweet spot is 50 to 100 people.
Yeah.
Is the messaging. Mm-hmm. Because as soon as you get beyond that, the game of telephone is off the fucking hook.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I think it's if I start talking about this, we'll go into a whole world, but like even social media, like it's like you used to back in the day, like you could, really shine in a smaller community. And
Sure.
that was it. Like you didn't feel this responsibility to be the best in the fucking world.
Right.
Like you shined where you were, and it expanded from there. But it's like now it's like just, yeah, there's a lot of there's just a lot of people in the world, and we can connect with any of them. And there's something really beautiful about that. But it's also, yeah, that comes with like this pressure to feel like if you don't do that, then you don't matter.
And if you do, there's a price to pay as well. There's no such thing as a free lunch.
No. I mean, I got free lunch when I was a kid, but I'm just kidding.
So did I.
Just kidding. At the park, okay?
I got free lunch.
They give you cold chicken nuggets.
Food stamps and all of it.
Yes. Did you get cold chicken nuggets ever, though?
No.
We had got cold chicken nuggets, like in a baggie.
That's sweet. I would have loved
Honestly,
that.
I loved it.
Chicken nuggets? If we had any kind of fast food, it was a privilege. It was the first of the month.
Yeah.
Like the checks showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel ya.
So the first time you moved back to New Mexico, I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess. The first time was when you decided, was after that year? Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, if you want to know, yeah. So I moved back. So I lived here for 2 years. So I did the program for a year, and then I stayed on staff for a year.
Yeah.
And my dad was sick during that time, basically on like some form of chemo. And so I knew that I was going to be coming home, like after those 2 years. Like I wanted to come back to New Mexico and be with my family. And he went into a coma the night before I flew back. So I flew on an airplane, I arrived, and he was unconscious. And airlifted to Denver, where I was from. Actually, I was born in Denver. That's a very small part. But he was awaiting a liver transplant. And 10 days later, he passed away. But that, I was already planning on moving home, but I obviously like stayed for a while and was with my family for like 18 months. And I was kind of long distance relationship with my now husband during that time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it felt really natural to move back.
You knew him before you moved to Seattle?
I didn't. I met him here. He's from Woodinville.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. We met here like in that program.
Right.
And escaped together. Yeah. We've been married for 11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's crazy.
It's hard.
Yes. It is.
And you guys do music together?
Yeah, Jake, he's a co-writer on most of our stuff. He doesn't play an instrument, but he is an incredible writer.
Okay.
And like lyrically, especially.
All right.
So, yeah, not all the songs on this last record we did that, but I mean most of them. And I feel like when you listen to the record, like Jake wrote the lyrics to Two Circles, which is one of the songs that I think people have really connected with. And you can tell the ones that he wrote because they like kind of are more linear and storytelling, whereas whatever the song that I wrote lyrically is probably just whatever I feel in the moment. Stream of consciousness.
So you guys both met in that program. He also grew up in the church, I would assume.
Yeah. Yep. He went. His experience is crazy. He didn't have like the part of it that I did, with my dad. Like, and he grew up, and he had to go to that school. Like, there was a school attached to the church that you were basically required to put your kids in if you're going to go to the church.
Right.
And I'm divulging so much right now.
Which costs money.
It costs so much money, to the point where Jake's mom had to work at the school to just put the kids there.
And you have to work there for a long time if you're making $75 a month.
Dude. Yeah. Well, I don't even know. Yeah. How much she was. I mean, I think it was mostly just to afford the kids going there.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Were the leaders of this church, were they some of these folks that were helicoptering to their services, because there were a couple churches around here where there was some fanciness like that happening. Is that who we're talking about?
They didn't have a helicopter, but
Yeah.
they were doing great.
Yeah. They were doing
Yep.
right.
Yes. They were.
What a country.
I know. It is so wild. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Yep.
I've thought about starting a church a lot, and I think
You could
that
easily.
there's
No problem.
I mean, if you're just not a dick, like I don't like necessarily not believe that there is something bigger than us at play energetically, but so I just try to be a good person just in case.
I know. You have to die to find out.
Just in case. It's important to be a good person.
Yeah. We always say we're like hopeful agnostics, like we like want to, I think it's kind of good for people to believe in something bigger. Like I think as humanity, like we've adapted to this point of knowing that like if you think there's something meaningful, then you act differently.
Right. I think that, and this isn't to say that all people who, like I know wonderful, beautiful people who are deeply religious and committed to attending church every week and whatever they're doing.
They feel
right?
safe.
But if you absolutely need a rule book to not kill and steal and rape and all that, then you're a fucking asshole.
You're a fucking asshole.
You're just a shit person.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't need a rule book. Like what's kind is kind and what's shit is shit.
I think we come out inherently good.
I believe that.
I mean, most of us, I would say. I don't know.
I've met some kids that are fucking assholes, though.
I know, but I was a fucking asshole too. But like, I think that. I mean, I don't know. We could go down a rabbit hole for sure, but I believe that you're good.
I think people want to be good.
We can follow something inside of us. Like I think that is good. Like
sure.
We can trust ourselves.
People are afraid.
Yeah.
Of everything. People are filled with fear, and that drives, even positive things.
It's a great motivator.
Right?
It works.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding? You know how fast I am when a dog's chasing me?
Mm-hmm. But are you running towards a hamburger that you love?
How long did you stay in Albuquerque on that trip? We'll call it a trip since you've been back and forth.
Mm-hmm. That was, I think it was almost 2 years.
You're on a 2-year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost due to move back.
I know. Watch out. They might not want me. Just kidding.
Have you gotten any of your Albuquerque crew to move up here?
My sister, she moved here and she just left me. She moved to Connecticut with my other sister.
Why'd they go to fucking Connecticut?
I don't know. Please tell me why they're. Yeah, I mean they have some friends there, and I've never been to Connecticut. We're doing some touring on the East Coast in October, and it'll be my first time going to Connecticut. So I will report back and let you know what it's all about. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's there are a lot of really nice places. Where did they move to? Do you know?
Hartford.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, I think there's like some music there. I know some bands. Yeah, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of I don't know why I was surprised by this, but there are a lot of cool venues and festivals there.
Yeah.
In unique rural venues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool. I just came back from living just outside of Hudson, New York, which is 30 minutes from Connecticut.
Yeah.
40 minutes.
You can take like the train, right?
To Hudson from New York, yeah.
Yeah, that's rad.
And there was music everywhere. It was really,
I love that. I'm excited to go. Yeah.
Will you play in Woodstock?
I think they're finishing out the booking right now. I don't have all the dates, but that was one of them. Woodstock,
Awesome.
Hartford for sure, Boston, and then some New York.
And you've never been to the East Coast?
Mm-mm.
What's the longest tour that you have done?
With my band, just like a few weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good amount of time to be out on the road. A few weeks.
Yeah. It's fun.
I think 5-6 weeks is a good amount. Like that's when you can come
When's
home.
the longest that you've toured?
Months.
Yeah. That's rad.
And I love it. I don't have any responsibilities.
Yeah.
You know.
I would love to tour more.
So I'm following you on social media, and it seems like you guys are staying busy supporting the new record.
Yeah.
You guys just did Music Millennium.
Yeah, in Portland.
One of the greatest places.
So fun. Yeah. I think it's like one of the oldest in the Pacific Northwest, like record stores, like ever.
Certainly one of the coolest.
I think that they told me that it was like the oldest.
I've seen in-stores there as well, and they're great.
Yeah, I was like on the balcony area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, super, super, like people are still excited about the record. And I think that's a great feeling because we poured our entire soul, which I know everyone does, but it felt like something different this time, at least for us. Like even when we released it out, like it's called Heavy for a while, and it feels like I honestly feel lighter. I honestly do. And I think people have like connected with the songs in a way that I didn't expect. And people have taken the time to like appreciate, the specialties that we put into it. And thank you for noticing. Yeah, but we're Heavy for a While is not going anywhere. Like we have a lot of stuff like that we filmed before we released it that we still haven't put out yet. So we just announced today, like we are doing a show in Everett, and releasing a video that we collaborated on with Black Cap Guitars. My buddy, he has a band called Old Coast, and he's a luthier, and he's been creating like a whole line of these acoustic guitars. And so we did a video with only his guitars, like, and all of our friends, and we recorded a 2 Circles live take with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where did you do that at?
In Ballard. At the studio that we record at called the Ballard Bait Shop.
Awesome.
Yeah, with Nate Yachino.
Sweet.
Yeah. You're good at asking questions. You're doing great.
The thing about not having, I listen to music. I try to not do any other research to know any other things so that the conversation doesn't feel like I'm trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
But I did read that the record is inspired by the most recent return to Seattle, and that's true?
For sure. Yeah. Yep.
Do you mind going into the title and how that relates a little more?
Yeah, I mean, Heavy for a While, I think like a lot of these songs were written in New Mexico, like during that time that I'm describing. That was the pandemic and relational turmoil with people close to me. And obviously during that time, it was like pretty heightened politically and all of that. So it's just tough. It was just a tough time, obviously, for everybody. And I think music became such a friend during that time and a partner and a way to express everything. But when it came to naming it, we were already living here, and it just felt like that was so hard. And coming out of it and then looking back at that experience, like everyone did, I'm sure, it just was like, that was crazy, like what we just went through. And I feel not so heavy right now. I feel really light. And I think that I'm so grateful for the music getting us through that time. These songs truly, truly were a friend. and being back in Seattle feels awesome. Feels really, really good. I think we're in our, if Heavy for a While is a record, like we're in our while era, you know?
Right. Well, buckle up because I hope your next record isn't called Fucked for a While.
I think it could be. You never know.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I know, because it's like, it kind of doesn't end. Like everyone is going through something so tough right now. Like when we were on tour this last run, like even from the stage, it felt like every day, like you could feel what people are going through. And I'm so grateful that music is here to bring us all together and to give us a space to feel, because feeling is fucking brave. And it really matters. Music truly matters. Super quick. I used to work as I worked at a pain management clinic. I was a medical assistant.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so wild to be in that environment. And I was told several times, like, music doesn't matter. Like, music is not a real career. Music, is for lazy people. And like, Alie, are you gonna be lazy, or are you gonna work hard and like be a nurse or something? And nurses are badass. Thank you to all the nurses out there. Like, I would love to, have been able to do that, but I can't do everything. And I shouldn't be a nurse. I should be doing what I'm doing right now. Like, I feel like music really, really matters. And it really is a healing place for people. And yeah, I became so aware of that, feeling people's emotions in that room, and just like being so proud of people for feeling and entering into those emotions. And yeah.
I think it's also important that you're doing what makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it's important to the rest of the world, or whether it's important to 5 people or 500 people a night, it doesn't matter, because happiness is infectious.
Yeah.
Joy is infectious.
Yeah.
And so is misery.
That's true.
They fucking say misery loves company.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. I mean, and like, I don't know, these songs, like, some people have said like, whoa, that's like really heavy, and like maybe I'm not ready to enter into that right now. That's totally fine.
Right.
Like, these songs are there for you when you need to feel something and hopefully move through it,
Sure.
And go outside also and do things that like are good for you, like meeting with people and hanging out with people and talking with people and like listening to people. All of that.
There are moments on the record that also feel, they're dark, and they almost feel a little sinister to me. Not lyrically necessarily, but musically, they feel a little bit,
Yeah.
Am I gathering what you're scattering, or am I imagining that?
I mean, I think that music has the ability to take you back to a moment. Like, there are some of these songs that I haven't really like gone into playing live, because it costs something to like perform it. Because what you're saying, like, it feels like when I was writing that song, I was in a very dark place, and you can feel that like when you're listening to it. And it's crazy. Music is totally magic, that it can take you back to some place like that, and maybe make someone feel seen or like less alone if they're also experiencing that. But I think we also tried with the record to like create a story and an arc. It's very dynamic. Like, the highs are high, the lows are low, and the spaciousness, like, I think you can feel it. Like, we didn't try to fill every single beat with something. Like, the space matters just as much as the noise. And yeah, I think we tried to create something. And so when it ends, like, the last song is called End Scene. And it's like, there's a sort of finality to that song. Like, the chorus is, I don't want to hurt you. And when the curtain falls, it falls on me. And it's kind of like sad, but like I left my home. I left people, and it hurt really bad to leave them. And there's a finality to that, like, and there's a choice.
Sure.
And there's also with that empowerment.
And a greater happiness on the other side of it.
Totally. Honestly. Yeah. I mean, I hope you can feel like I don't feel that way anymore. Like music, it helps you get through stuff.
It's helped me get through everything.
Yeah, I agree. Same. It's a gift. It's a friend. It's there for you. You can trust it.
You can trust music.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can trust it for its consistency.
Yeah.
And to transport you back to whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
That being said, be careful what you let in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like trust yourself too. Like, I mean, there are certain songs that I'm not performing right now off the record because it's really heavy, and I don't really feel like feeling that way right now. You know?
Fair.
But I wouldn't be here if I didn't write that song.
Sure. Tell me what you have going on for the rest of the year. And also, let's talk about Sonic Guild for just a second, because that's where we met. We met at Sonic Guild.
Yes.
I was just back. I had been back for a couple months. I had been on tour. I hadn't played a gig in Seattle yet since I returned.
Yeah.
Maybe I've sat in for a Halloween gig with some friends.
Nice.
I did one gig, but I hadn't really played a show, and I was getting some production work, and you guys were there as a part of the Sonic Guild awards ceremony, which is an awesome thing, which is doing was just like a musician's church.
Yeah.
To bring it around.
Thank you. Yeah, really full circle. Yeah, Sonic Guild is not single-handedly, but they are doing something so unique in Seattle and like truly supporting artists with money, okay, and opportunity.
Right, not with attaboys.
No, or like exposure dollars. Like I mean, they're truly just like doing the work. They're networking to create opportunities and finances for artists to keep doing what they're doing, because I mean, they do believe that music matters. And they're partnering with some amazing people. Like we won a grant of $10,000, and that's how we were able to do our tour. And that's how we were able to buy vinyl to like continue investing into our project. And we wouldn't I had like half of the vinyl paid for and just like sitting there because I couldn't pay for the rest of it to be shipped to me. And I was able to do that with Sonic Guild funds, and also be able to like pay my band for every show.
Right.
They deserve
Nothing
it.
says thank you like money.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's something to say about like passion projects and like, you know, people partnering for free and all of that, like just because you believe in the project. But that, you know, people have to eat food and like pay the rent.
If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I love living indoors.
Yeah, I know. Like you and me are rich. We got food, and
me and the dogs could move in here if push came to shove.
Yeah.
This is I do come down here and nap on the couch sometimes when it's really hot.
Yeah.
Because of the AC. But
yeah.
You've chosen a difficult life.
Yeah. I mean, it is often like feast or famine, and Sonic Guild thankfully like made it so that we could get through the famine time. And I'm so grateful for them. And they haven't stopped doing that. Like they reach out all the time with opportunities, like connecting us with like other, I just like played on King 5 News, and we're playing at the Seattle sculpture park, like for a free event on August 1st. And you know, like there's just like fun opportunities, different places that you would never like meet these people otherwise. And
those things came to you through Sonic Guild.
Yeah. And they're doing it for a lot of artists and of all sizes and all genres. You know, it's it feels like super inclusive and super inspiring, honestly.
That night was awesome. I was just like, every band was absolutely great.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah.
It's cool because like now if you did win the grant, like you can vote for the people that are going to win it next year.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so far the funds have gone up every year. So like hopefully it's even more for the next people that win it, and it's people that are really like doing it out there. Like
Great.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really I hope that more people give money to Sonic Guild to keep supporting artists. Because it goes to a good place.
Yes to anything they ever ask me to do.
Yeah.
Yes is the answer.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I can possibly do, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yes is the answer.
Yeah.
Yes, Ben.
Yes, Ben London. Yes, Ben London. Thank you, Ben London, for everything you do for the community, and Kay and the whole team.
Tell me about the rest of your year. Tell me about your immediate future.
Yep. Right now
plans.
we're writing so much, and it was almost like as soon as we put the record out, it was like just creativity opened. And we're writing, like, some of the last songs that we wrote on the record were Monstera and Lean In. And I think that those are my favorite songs to perform live, my favorite songs to play. And so I'm leaning into kind of like what we were doing there at the end there, and just writing so much right now. And we have some really cool like collabs that we are working on.
Awesome.
And we have a tour in October on the East Coast that we'll be announcing soon. And we have one show in Seattle booked for the rest of the year, and one show in Everett, one show in Bainbridge Island. And
do you know the dates of those shows?
Yes.
You can send them to me, and I'll
August
put them in
1st is the show at the Seattle Art Museum Sculpture Park.
That will have already happened. It was an awesome show, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It was awesome.
We killed it. And August 17th. I don't know if that will be out.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, I know. August 17th in Everett, and October, I can't remember the date of that one, but there's October 1.
On Bainbridge.
Yeah.
That's going to be great.
I think it's
too.
October 6th.
That'll for sure be great.
Yeah. A part of BEMA.
What is that?
Bainbridge Island Music Alliance, I think.
All right.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I couldn't if I wanted to.
Yeah. Anyways. Yep. We have that. And then the East Coast tour. And those are literally the only shows in Seattle that we're doing. We probably won't play in Seattle for the rest of the year.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that the record is so good.
Thank you.
The band live, the band that I saw at that show, that is the band. Yeah.
That was basically every person who's ever played with us. We just joined them all.
Got it.
Yeah, Nate Yacchino is our producer, a drummer, friend. Megan Grandel, she sang on the record. She sings with us pretty often. Her voice is crazy. William Mapp plays drums with us. Aaron O'Neill plays drums with us. Skylar Mihal plays lead electric guitar. He always plays with us. And Manny Rodriguez, he plays bass. I don't think I've forgotten anyone else, but
who was on percussion?
Nate
was on percussion.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But I really fell in love with William's drumming.
I know. Yeah. I can't believe the drummers that I've gotten to play with in Seattle. Like, it's they've made me better.
He has such a touch.
He's so felt.
He's so dynamic.
I know.
I've never seen anyone play so softly but have the sound project in a gentle but direct way.
Yeah, he has a confidence about him. And he's free. It's almost like he's more free when he's on the drums than anywhere else. Like, it's just Yeah, it's an honor to play with William and Aaron and Nate. It's crazy. Like the drummer really makes a huge difference. Like they can change the whole sound, the
Oh,
whole way that you play. Um,
oh yes. If your drummer sucks,
yeah,
your band sucks.
your band sucks. Yeah,
That's it. Everyone
Period.
else can be mediocre.
it's true. So
Thank God.
I know. Yeah, no.
I wouldn't have a career.
Yeah, honestly, same. Yeah.
Well, I sincerely wish you the best things that this weird world of music can possibly bring you in
Thank you.
experiences and rewards, because I think you're doing great music.
Thanks.
You seem like a nice person, unless you're a great actor.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah. I thank you. You honestly seem so genuine.
I'm fine.
I think you're pretty genuine. I
I'm
think
all right.
you're like 5%. I'm just kidding. I can't wait to leave. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It is getting cold, actually.
Yeah. Why did you make it so cold in here?
Well, it was,
Your
it was a lot
heart is
warmer
exuding.
2 hours ago when I got in here.
What are you gonna do with the rest of your day?
I have so much shit to do.
Yeah,
like
what
my
are you
whole
doing?
fucking day is just like blasted.
What are you doing?
Well, I have to go pick up a guitar and drop it off to get set up, because that was a thing that I did this morning, but I took 2 of John Roderick's guitars in, but
Nice.
neglected to take one of mine in.
Hmm.
So I'll go there for the 3rd time. I took a bass there yesterday.
Wait, where's it at?
I take them to Todd Baker over in West Seattle. He's great. If you need work done on guitars,
Is it at Thunder Road?
No, but I spend a lot of time. I don't have it. I'm lucky. I've created a lifestyle for myself that is very affordable. I live very modestly, and so I don't work right now.
Nice.
So I fill my days. I don't know how I would be able to be happy with a job. I've said no to every job that I could possibly say no to.
Wow.
So I end up spending a lot of time at Thunder Road, because I end up over in West Seattle, like at Home Depot or something, and going to Todd's and dropping guitars off, or whatever, grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Because it's not far from my house. So that is to say, I've got that. I've got my evening dog walk. I've got the gym, and
what are you benching these days?
I don't measure that way. But I'm on a fierce gym run.
That's the only thing I could think of to say about a gym. What are you benching?
It would be a lot funnier if you're like, what's your squat?
What's your squat? Your squat period?
What do you deadlift?
Oh. Is it like, how low does your butt go to the ground without falling?
No, I don't squat because I don't know why. I'm not like a bodybuilder. But I got really fat this last winter. I was on like a good fitness run, and I hurt myself, and then I was just like, I was in physical pain. I tore my rotator cuff, and then I just like ate my pain. And one day I got on the scale and I was like, no way.
No way.
What?
But I feel so good.
It didn't feel good. I was just like, what is this? And so I had a good opportunity where I wasn't working, didn't have any excuses. I've used an excuse for whatever, fill in the blank, whatever you don't want to do, whatever is difficult, whatever is painful, whatever you don't want to face, you can always find what you're looking for. And, if I was like, oh, well, I'm busy or whatever, now I don't have an excuse. Like, all I have to do is work on myself in every way.
Yeah. So your hobbies besides music would be...
Besides music?
Yeah. Would be squatting?
No way. No.
Dog walking? Do you like to cook?
I do. I cook. But right now it's like super strict.
What does that mean? Like oatmeal?
Huh?
Oatmeal and chicken breast?
A little bit of oatmeal in the morning, maybe. A lot of chicken breast.
I knew it.
Fucking so much. So much.
Yeah.
And measured. Everything is measured and weighed. Yeah? And it's like that.
Oh my gosh. How fun.
But it's working.
Yeah. You feel good?
So much better.
Nice.
than months ago.
Really?
Yeah. So
do you think you would ever run a marathon? Have you run one before?
No, I have an injury that would probably prevent me from that.
Yeah.
I don't tell people just in case someone wants to attack me and like.
It could be me.
I don't tell. Yeah, I usually don't.
I'm
talk
known
about
to just be like, want a race.
Yeah. Also, like if I tell you what my injury is, you might attack me there, steal my shit before you leave here.
It would be on camera. I would win. I'm just
probably. Yeah. You're like, we would have it documented for the whole world. I would win
for sure. Then we'll be viral.
Wow. It'd be vital.
Vital. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the rest of my day. I thought John is playing a show tonight. I might try to go there, but it's at 6 and like.
Where?
John is playing at the Rabbit Hole Box.
Oh.
Do you know this?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got it's a monthly thing. It's the last Thursday. Have you played there?
Mm-hmm.
What a cool place.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's one of my favorites now. Yeah, the Rabbit Box is lit.
I have a lot of songs to learn.
Yeah.
I have singing to practice.
When are you leaving again?
August 12th, I leave. And I'm gone for 3 weeks. I can go straight into rehearsals. And then I leave on tour again. And It's great. It's the life that I always should have been leading.
Well, thank you for having me.
Anything else you want to know? I really do appreciate it.
Yeah. There's nothing else you want to know?
We're out of time. I got shit to do, girl.
Let's go.
Oh, that was so awesome.